Finding a way every week. How about the Buffalo Bills?
No overthinking, right? Go play some ball. Go play some football.
It's an exciting time to be a Buffalo Bill and a fan of the Buffalo Bills.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Week 10 of the Sean McDermott Show. We're presented by Kaleida Health. Thanks for joining us. And, Coach, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. Tough loss in Cincinnati on the road. You knew it was going to be a buzzsaw going in there. Offense had a great first and last drive. Took them some time to get it together, but you felt like you had a chance. The 2 turnovers kind of made it a too deep a hole at halftime and in the second half to come back. What positives can you take from it to build on and give yourself some momentum the second half of the season?
Well, I think more than anything, it's, our guys fight. They work hard at it during the week to prepare and get themselves ready to go, and they fight. And, we've got to get off to a better start. We've got to play better complementary football. We had the turnover deep in our end there, and then we also failed to get the ball out from our end in a backed up situation, and in addition to the turnover on the other side. So,
Right.
And then defensively, we got to get off the field to help our offense get on the field. And so it's all working, unfortunately, hand in hand here.
Right. Josh continues to play well, but you're right. He had the one bad throw early on. You got out of it without unscathed, except for the time of possession, where in the first half you only had it for 9 minutes of the first half. But how does Josh help the guys keep focused on whatever it will take going forward to get them going? What's his role in saying, hey, guys, that's enough of that?
Right. Well, he's one of our main leaders, right? And so it's right now is a time to lead from the front, get out in front of the team and take the bull by the horns, and that's really what you have to do.
Yeah, not only Josh Diggs, man, he continues to be clutch. I mean, people know he's going to get the ball. He's having a great year, continues to stack week after week, 6 catches for 86 this week with the touchdown, continues to be a bona fide number 1 elite wideout. How does having a guy like that in your offensive mix give everybody a little step up and say, listen, we got a guy, let's go?
Well, he demands it from not only himself, but from those around him. And you can feel that in pregame and during the week a little bit as well, but certainly on game day. And that's what good players do.
And you tend to have more guys emerge. Dalton Kincaid had a game-high 10 catches. He is starting to really spread his wings and be a real force for this offense. He had the bad turnover late, and he took ownership of it. But how much more of an impact could he help your offense in going forward?
Well, his development has already been seen over the last couple of weeks, and I'm proud of the way we've gotten him the ball, gotten him involved in the offense, and now it's, hey, between Diggs and Dalton, a 1-2 punch, and now we start to spread out even beyond that would be ideal.
Right, and you are spreading out beyond that, 7 to 12 on third down this last week, but you look at the top 4 guys on your thing with Diggs and Kincaid and Shakir and Cook. There was only 2 incomplete passes between the 4 of them for the entire game. Those guys are really hitting on all cylinders. How does your offense find its identity now that Knox is out and you're kind of got the new mix going? Shakir's getting like 70% of the snaps. I mean, where do you think this offense is headed now?
Well, I think it's getting into where really it should be, right? And where we're using all the weapons that are there at our disposal and putting those tools to work for the betterment of our offense.
Let's flip it around the other side. Dane Jackson, he had 3 huge pass breakups working against Jamar Chase, added 3 total tackles, left with an injury, but he held Jamar Chase to 4 receptions for 44 yards, and 32 of which came on 1 catch in the fourth quarter. What do you think of the way Dane has stepped up, and really your entire secondary with the nicks and bruises that they've taken this season?
Well, that's been amazing to watch. Dane really had an outstanding performance, as you mentioned, and stepped up his game. We add Russell in there, and so that helps the competition at least a little bit. And then CB goes down during the early part of the game with the hamstring, and then Dane goes down as well later on. And so Josh Norman steps in, and it's good we dressed as many corners as we did because we needed it.
Yeah, you got injuries continued for you guys on defense, but you held the Bengals to 3 points in the second half. Rasul Douglas had to come in and play. He played 42 snaps coming over from Green Bay. He had 2 tackles and a pass defense. Linval Joseph played 30 snaps off the street. 2 tackles. Josh Norman even had to come in, as you said. Coach, how do you make it easier for these new guys to acclimate, knowing, listen, it's a tough spot, not even knowing everybody on the team's name, and yet going in trying to contribute in a way that just, you can tell, you don't want to give the game away as a new guy coming in, but giving them empowering them to go in and play with some confidence.
Well, I think just the vibe on the sideline, the vibe going into the game, and then throughout the game, the guys were helping them, they were helping the guys, and I'll give those guys credit. I mean, they've done a nice job endearing themselves to their new teammates. not really getting out of their lane yet, but knowing that they have to earn the trust of those around them, and I think they both did a phenomenal job.
Let's go back in time a little bit. In 2021, you had a midseason stretch where you lost 4 or 6 games, and you had a record of 7-6 kind of coming down the stretch, and then you rattled off 4 straight wins en route to the playoffs, and you got kind of caught lightning in a bottle, so to speak, or started playing your best really right at the end. What comparisons can you draw with this crew coming through this stretch of the season, knowing you've got this last stretch, now you can kind of, you know you've got it under the hood to shift gears?
Well, it's a one game at a time approach, but we've been there before, like many teams have around the NFL, and these are the times you got to buckle down and hang together and take it one game at a time and find ways to win one game, right? One game and then move on to the next game. And right now, we have to continue to make those necessary adjustments to get us to win that one game.
All right, Coach, we're going to come back and get your final thoughts on facing the Broncos on Monday Night Football. Stay with us. We'll be right back on the Sean McDermott Show.
The Game Plan is presented by Energy Mark. Trust Energy Mark for renewable energy supply.
When we come back, Eric Wood and I break down the tape from the game against the Bengals. Then running back James Cook is mic'd up in Cincinnati.
Chopping Wood is presented by St. Bonaventure University, an official education partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome back to the Sean McDermott Show, and it's time to look back at the tape with our good buddy Eric Wood. The offense had a great first and last drive, but struggled in between. What good stuff did you see from the Bills' offense?
Yeah, on the first drive, Josh Allen was able to find Diggs and Shakir for big plays. And everyone after the game is talking about how well Kincaid played, but Shakir has added a really nice third option to this offense. And then late in the game, when Josh needed it most, he finds Diggs for a really nice touchdown and the 2-point conversion play.
Well, let's start with the big play to Stephon Diggs and the first drive. What did you see here?
The Bills run a nice concept here. They bring Stephon Diggs in motion, which gives him a ton of space here to the open side of the field. Josh hits him immediately when he sees that there's off coverage and he knows he has an easy throw, and then Stephon Diggs does the rest here himself. Breaks a tackle and then gets upfield for a really nice gain, and there's a convoy of blockers following here. I thought he might break this one.
Yeah, and on the next play, Josh connected with Khalil Shakir for 22 yards. Walk us through this one.
The Bengals are in man coverage here, and Shakir has, it looks like an option route in the slot, and he's going to take it almost on like a wheel route, and Josh, after scrambling outside of the pocket to his right, gets under the block from Spencer Brown and is able to find him for a nice game here.
And those plays set up Josh's rushing touchdown. This one came from 2 yards out.
This is hard play action to the left-hand side, and then Josh is going to roll out to the right. It looks like he had a shot to hit Gabe Davis here, but Josh does it with his legs here and lets the Bengals know about it on his way into the end zone.
Yeah. And a little later, Josh connected with Shakir again, this time for 23 yards. What did you see on this one?
This is a little flat curl concept here, and we'll see this often from the Bills. And Josh initially looks to Gabe Davis, and he's got almost double coverage on the play. So Josh does a good job of working the field, working through his progression here, and finds Shakir on a nice gain over the middle of the field.
Then in the fourth quarter, the Bills needed a touchdown, and they dialed up a big one to Steph Diggs. Break this one down.
Josh knows he has man-to-man coverage here, and he knows where he wants to go with the football, and that's Diggs. And so all he's got to do is hold the safety with his eyes. He initially looks left and then trusts his number one receiver that he's going to get open, and he does, and Josh throws a laser to get him the ball.
And then Steph Diggs completed the octopus with an awesome catch on the 2-point conversion. What'd you see here?
This right here is the mesh concept, and the receiver's going to go across the Bengals secondary. And last week, Josh finds Gabe Davis. This week, he finds Steph Diggs. I love where Josh throws this football. I mean, Stephon Diggs has not even cleared the linebacker when he gets rid of the football. But like I just said on the last play, he trusts Stephon Diggs, and he gets him the ball here nicely.
Great stuff as always. Thanks for this, Eric. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it, Steve.
When we return, running back James Cook is mic'd up against the Bengals. And later on, we take a deep dive into some next-gen stats in Sportsology.
Mic'd Up is presented by Geico.
Have a great great day, baby. Welcome to the show. Let's go.
Hey, oh yeah. Good.
Mic'd up, mic'd up, mic'd up.
Go, my boy. Go, my boy.
Time to go score now. You gotta answer back. You gotta answer back.
They throw a screen to Diggs on the left side, gets a block from Shakir, spins away from a tackle, out to midfield, cuts it inside to the 45, down to the 40, and all the way to the 36-yard line. Big catch and run by Stephon Diggs.
I was out there running, cutting back. I felt like you.
Come on, D. Yeah, it's a stop now. Go get him, y'all boys. Go get him. Come on, come on. Go get him.
Takes the snap, back to pass, pocket collapsing, trying to get away, and he's sacked. There's a flag on the play again, but Jordan Phillips gets to Burrow and drops him.
Big job. It's us, baby. It's us. Big job. Let's go. Come on.
Here's the snap, three-step drop, looks to his right, now to his left, and has to retreat to his right, rolling out, looking down the sideline, and in and out of the hands of Tyler Boyd. Dane Jackson thought he was going to come up with an interception. He's happy with the pass breakup.
I ain't gonna lie, they ain't balling. They ain't balling. They ain't balling. They ain't balling. Hey, they ain't balling. You gotta go score this drive. Let's go. Love you, my boys. Let's go. Hey, let's go, y'all boys. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Takes the snap, looking left, now back to the right, into the end zone to Diggs for the touchdown. It's a 17-yard touchdown reception. Can you dig it? Looking to his left, now over the middle, fires, and it's caught in the back of the end zone for a successful two-point conversion by Diggs. Here's the snap. It's a little high, but he hands it to Mixon, gets away from a tackler in the backfield, and he's going to run for the first down, even though he stepped out of bounds. So a fresh set of downs will just about do it here, as Buffalo cannot stop the clock.
Still to come on the Sean McDermott Show, we break down some next-gen stats in Sportsology. And later, Coach previews Monday Night Football in Orchard Park against the Broncos.
Sportsology is presented by ECMC. ECMC, bringing hope and healing to Western New York.
What's up, Bills Mafia? We've got a couple of fun stats for you from Week 9 that showcase just how athletic some of our players are. Check it out. QB1 Josh Allen scored his 6th rushing touchdown of the season against Cincy, which is the second most by a quarterback. Allen topped out at 15.71 miles per hour and traveled a total of 23.1 yards on the 2-yard TD scramble. His scramble had a 49.8% chance of resulting in a touchdown and took 5 seconds to complete. Stephon Diggs scored his 7th receiving touchdown of the season against the Bengals. The 17-yard TD reception only had a completion probability of 24.6%. Diggs caught the pass with only 0.78 yards of separation from Bengals corner DJ Turner. The wideout's now tied for the second most TD receptions in the NFL. He has a catch rating of 72.2%, which is 3rd in the NFL for receivers with a minimum of 60 receptions. The Allen to Diggs connection remains undefeated, and I know we're all looking forward to seeing what they can accomplish in the second half of the season.
When we come back, Chris Brown and Maddy Glab preview Monday Night Football at Highmark Stadium against Denver. Plus, Coach breaks down facing Russell Wilson and the Broncos.
Game Preview is presented by Independent Health. You deserve the red shirt treatment.
Welcome into this week's game preview. Maddy Glab alongside of Chris Brown, and the Bills are facing a Broncos team that's coming off of a 2-game win streak. They just had their bye week. The Bills are coming off of a loss, but every time they've had a loss this season, they followed it with a win. So let's talk about the Broncos here. They're averaging 21.5 points per game, good for 16th in the NFL. They have been pretty decent at running the ball so far this season, ranking 11th and 2nd in yards per rush. Russell Wilson has been pretty good this season when you look at some of his stats. He only has 4 interceptions, has a 101.7 passer rating. So I know the Broncos' record isn't the best, but what has been working for them on offense this season?
Yeah, it's interesting. Sean Payton has kind of changed the scheme to better fit his players, because what he had at the beginning of the season just flat out was not working. So credit Sean Payton, a veteran coach in this league, for kind of shifting the paradigm of how his offense was going to function. And they are functioning better here through these last 2 or 3 weeks. They're not a juggernaut offense, but they're a capable offense now that can surprise some teams.
So we know the Bills on defense especially are suffering even more injuries with a couple guys that got injured in the game before. We'll see what their status is for this game, but knowing that they're down even less guys at this point, and knowing they haven't taken the ball away at a high rate since they started to suffer some of those injuries, how does this defense get back to taking the ball away at a higher rate, and how can they do that against the Broncos offense?
Yeah, they need the offense to help them out. The Bills offense I'm talking about. They have to get a lead on the scoreboard, which allows their pass rush to then get after the opposing quarterback. Getting leads on teams has been difficult the last several weeks because the offense has sputtered, if not at the beginning of the game, for a quarter and a half somewhere in the middle of the game, sometimes even at the end of the game, forcing the defense to hold on. So what they have to do, get an early lead, force that opposing offense to have to throw the ball more, which leads to more pass rush opportunities, which could lead to more ill-advised throws, and that's more opportunities for the guys on the back end to make interceptions. That's really the approach they have to do. They need some help from their offense.
We'll see if the offense can get going right away in this one. We know the Bills have been great in the primetime window under the Sean McDermott era, and they've also been incredible at home this season. 4-1 if you're counting the London game, 4-0 at Highmark Stadium. We'll see if they can make it 5-0 this week.
Coach, back home against the Broncos, 3-5, but they've won 2 in a row. They beat the Chiefs, and they're coming off their bye week, coming off fresh. What message to your team can you give to get it back on track for yourselves at home on primetime?
Well, it's about us. We've got to get ourselves ready to go, bounce back from the Bengals game, and make the adjustments we need to make. And they're a good football team with a good quarterback, probably a Hall of Fame quarterback, in fact, and a great head coach. And Sean Payton, who's one of the best play callers I've ever gone against. So we've got to be ready to go.
Right. So Russ comes in. He's one of the top 5 or 6 in the league at passer rating. He's kind of got it back on track. They had a rough start, but now they've got some efficiency. As you said, Sean Payton as his head coach, that's a guy that's always got the throttle pushed forward, right? So what do you with a veteran like Russ and Sean as a defensive coordinator, that's a lot on your plate.
It is, and they've got a good, talented football team, and I think they're getting into a rhythm like you mentioned, and they've beaten 2 good football teams. And so, again, it's about us and the way we play, our level and quality of play.
Last one before we go, Coach. Monday Night Football, you're coming in, it's prime time. Your team is 4-0 at home on the road, at 4-0 at home. What is your message to this team in this week, in this game, when, this is a season that that you want to get back on track?
No, you got to be ready to go.
Right.
Ready to go, and we have a chance to win the division.
Right.
And that's what we're focused on, and taking it one play at a time, one game at a time.
All right, Coach. Good luck against the Broncos. Thanks for spending some time with us. And for you at home, thanks for joining us on the Sean McDermott Show, presented by Kaleida Health. We'll see you next week, and as always, go Bills.
Final Thoughts is presented by Toyota. Toyota is the exclusive and official vehicle of the Buffalo Bills. Toyota, let's go places. The Sean McDermott Show is presented by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 716-684-COMP today. By Toyota. Toyota is the exclusive and official vehicle of the Buffalo Bills. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independent Health. You deserve the red shirt treatment.